Yeah, I was popping to welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another Revival Saturday, you know what I mean? For those who are new, Revival Saturday is a series where all the family, all YB family come together. We just chill, relax, bit of vibe. I mean, it's the Lord's Day. I mean, he says, keep the Lord's Day holy, you know what I mean? As it says, the Sabbath. You won't work on the Sabbath, so let's chill back, bit of vibe, enjoy some scary videos. Today we're going to be watching 18 True Scary Horror Stories Animated Compilation. It was 3 years ago though, you know what I mean? Well, it's probably still lit, I don't know. I'm going to go through the whole reaction. I mean, grab it, bro, hold on, bro. Yeah, I think you gotta go, hold on, you know what I mean? Grabbing a snack, you gotta go either buttery popcorn, feel me, with some Starburst and some water. Okay, you gotta cancel all of that, feel me? Or some lettuce wrapped fries, bro. Like some lettuce wrapped fries with a milkshake wrapped in lettuce, bro. Peak, feel me? Like, stop straight into it, though. Alright. Let me know how it is going, though. Hopefully everybody keeping a couple steps. Everybody good. I mean, friend, given a chance to do this. So I'm just using the time to.
Back in 2014, I experienced something I still can't explain. I was still living at home at the time as an only child. I didn't have many friends or any hobbies to speak of, so I spent most of my free time surfing the internet and looking for anything that could hold my attention. On the weekends, I would wait for my parents to leave the house. Then, like most teenagers, I would use the alone time to browse through more devious content. On the night that this unexplainable thing happened, I was getting up to the same thing I always did. When I was finally home alone, I closed my door and drew my
We all know what you're talking about, right?
curtains, turned the lights off, and grabbed a box of tissues from the bathroom, in case I got a runny nose while I was watching what I was finally able to watch now that nobody was around. My parents said they would be gone all night, so I knew I could stay at it for as long as I wanted. Of course, that meant that there were quite a few soiled and crumpled up tissues tossed into the bin, but after a couple hours I was pretty much drained and bored of just watching stuff by myself like I did every weekend, and I was starting to wish I had someone to talk to. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't have very many friends, and certainly
you gonna click that link.
Nobody that I could call close. The handful of people I could think of to text never even read my messages. So rather than beg the people I sort of knew at the time to talk to me, I figured I'd have better luck with strangers. I had already known about Omegle for some time by then, mostly by watching YouTubers exploring all the different tags you can add to your search for new friends, but I'd never used it myself. I didn't have friends because of my social anxiety, and that bled over to video chatting too, which I wasn't super comfortable with in the beginning, especially since they were all strangers. But it was better than tossing tissues all night, and I figured there was no way I'd ever see any of the people I met more than once, let alone run into them in person, so I gave it a shot. Obviously, just like anyone else would see, my initial experience on Omegle was getting flooded by a bunch of creepy old men asking for my ASL. I skipped over all those guys, and it really felt like I was trudging through an endless ocean of them. But even when I found somebody who looked decent, I would get skipped by them. It was only my first time on Omegle, but if it was supposed to be a place where you could talk to people, then that night was not a good night for it. All the freaks and weirdos seemed to be out, and I was starting to lose hope that I would ever find anybody of interest. I thought about calling it quits, but then I felt like giving it just a few more tries. That's when I encountered the most unusual thing I'd seen all night. Whoever or whatever they were, someone or something, they were creepier than any run-of-the-mill offender fender on Omegle. I was immediately so petrified by the image in front of me that I couldn't even click away from it. I just kept staring at the screen, trying to figure out what in the world I was looking at. I couldn't tell if they were wearing some kind of mask or a bunch of weird makeup. They barely looked human, and if they were severely deranged. If I had to describe him, it looked like a male figure with deathly pale skin, dark sunken-in eyes, and a strange, scraggly haircut, like they
let's talk about it all. I know a man doesn't look like this, bro. This is crazy.
were halfway dead and already starting to decompose. Then, out of the blue, the man started meowing, like he thought he was some sort of cat man. It creeped me out, but I was still
anything can seem scary with the right music. Look at this. One day I was walking, then I started jogging, then I started skipping, and then it happened. Suddenly, I fell and I hit my face. And I was never the same again. After that day, on August 12th, 2019.
Getting pranked somehow, although I had no idea how any of this was supposed to be funny. Hello? What's up with you? Why don't you talk like a normal person? After I tried speaking to him, my computer screen started glitching out, and that's when the Catman jumped from his seat to the desk, landing backwards on all fours like
at a home by with crap though.
He was about to start spider walking in front of the camera like the possessed girl from The Exorcist. It happened so fast that I flinched and fell off my chair, but I continued to watch from the floor, completely awestruck. The Catman stared right into the camera, except his face was upside down now from the position he was in. He was still meowing too, which just added to the uneasy feeling that was building about this whole situation. I'd seen so many horror movies and it felt like any one of them could come true at any moment. I half expected him to crawl out through the screen and reap my soul. What the hell do you want? Why are you doing that? Do you think this is funny, sicko? He didn't seem to care about what I said, and if he did, I think it was only upsetting him, because it was then that his head began to twitch as he slowly
like the video.
craned to the side until it was totally horizontal, all the while shrieking with one long...
I said like the video. Subscribe. I know you. You looking at me right now. You. Subscribe, nigga. I'm punking head, nigga. What a bro.
Meow, opening his mouth wider and wider to the point that it looked like he had an inhumanly large set of jaws. What the hell is the matter with you? Stop meowing at me! I was horrified by whatever was about to happen next.
He could just turn off a PC, by the way, but like, okay.
Next, but then the glitching in the screen got worse and uncontrollable, and eventually froze, locking up the whole computer and forcing it to crash. I breathed a deep sigh of relief that the computer shut itself off. I was still dumbstruck in the darkness and sitting on the floor, so I have no idea how long I would have let that go on before I came to my senses and skipped that psycho. I eventually picked myself up and left my computer alone for the night, deciding to get some sleep and see if I couldn't forget the whole thing, or at least put some mental distance between me and it. It was difficult to get to sleep after being so shaken up, but I did get there after calming down for a little while. The next morning, things almost seemed alright. I could still vividly remember the strangeness of the Catman, his annoying meowing and corpse-like appearance, but other than that, everything seemed normal. That was, until I stood in front of the mirror before stepping into the shower and noticed the deep cat scratches all over my body.
Yeah, I did look in the mirror to feel those scratches, bro. I'm gonna give that a 6 out of 10. That shit was ass. Next animation. I know you did every second.
I still remember that night like it happened yesterday. The night that changed everything. It started with a phone call. I'd been lying in bed, scrolling mindlessly through my phone when the harsh buzz of an unknown number lit up my screen. Something in my gut told me I should answer.
Hello?
Is this Pearl Carter? The voice on the other end was firm, official.
Yes, who is this?
This is Officer Bradley from the Portland Police Department. Ma'am, your mother's been in an accident. She was hit by a truck on Route 17. For a second, everything around me stopped. My heart pounded in my ears.
What?
My voice cracked.
Is she alive?
She's alive, but in critical condition. Paramedics are on the scene, taking her to St. Mary's Hospital. You need to get there as soon as possible. I didn't even remember putting on my shoes or grabbing my car keys. I just ran out of the house, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. The roads blurred past me as I sped through the accident site. When I arrived, red and blue lights flashed in the darkness. The scene was chaotic. Broken glass scattered across the pavement, the twisted remains of my mother's car sitting on the side of the road like a crumpled toy. A large truck was stopped nearby, the driver talking to the police, his face pale and shaken. And then I saw her. The paramedics were lifting my mother onto a stretcher. Her face was bloodied, her body limp, her clothes soaked in red. I choked back a sob as I rushed forward.
Hey, bro.
Mom!
Are you her daughter? One of the paramedics asked, his voice urgent. I nodded, unable to speak. We're taking her to St. Mary's. You can follow us there. Inside the hospital, everything smelled like antiseptic and despair. The doctor came my way and said, Miss Carter, your mother has lost a lot of blood. We're doing everything we can, but the chances of survival are very low. I'm sorry. His words sliced through me like a knife. I felt my knees go weak and I stumbled back onto a bench in the empty hallway. I didn't cry. I just sat there, staring at the cold.
Yeah, nigga, this could happen to you too. I just gotta give thanks to all the people that are around you now, bro. Could lose your mom very easily, bro. You never know.
White floor.
Right now, bro. Pause the video. Go kiss and hug her. I'm back to the video though. Kiss and hug her. Your mother, father.
Waiting for a miracle. The tiresome waiting mixed with the anxiety made me pass out on the bench at some point, but then the sounds of footsteps woke me from my slumber. Opening my eyes, I saw a silhouette of a man. At first, I thought he was just another patient. He was dressed in a hospital gown, his bare feet dragging against the tile floor as he shuffled through the corridor. But something about him wasn't right. He moved too slowly, his head tilted slightly to one side. His arms hung limply at his sides. His skin was pale, too pale, almost gray. He passed by under the dim fluorescent lights, and when he turned his head slightly, I saw that he was smiling. But not a normal smile. His lips stretched too wide, his teeth bared like an animal. A shiver ran down my spine. I swallowed hard, trying to shake off the unease creeping up my neck. Maybe he was just sick. Maybe he needed help.
Sir?
My voice was barely above a whisper. The man stopped. Slowly, he turned his head toward me. You shouldn't be here. The way he said it, so soft, so cold, made my stomach drop. Before I could say anything else, he turned and walked through a nearby door. Something inside me screamed, "Don't follow him," but my legs carried me forward anyway. The door led to a small chapel. Inside the hospital. I had seen it earlier when I first arrived, a quiet place for people to pray for their loved ones. But when I stepped inside, it didn't feel holy anymore. The air was heavy, thick with something I couldn't name. The dim lighting flickered above, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The room smelled musty, like old books and something rotten beneath it all. The man stood at the altar, his back to me. His shoulders trembled violently, his whole body shaking as if he were freezing. And then he started whispering. raspy words that I couldn't understand. The sound crawled under my skin, making my hair stand on end.
Sir, are you okay?
My voice wavered. He didn't answer. His whispers grew fast, more frantic. His fingers twitched at his sides. His head jerked slightly, like he was trying to control a spasm. I took a step back. I need to leave, right now. And then he turned. My breath caught in my throat. His face was wrong. His skin was too tight over his skull. His eyes sunken and hollow, black pits that seemed to swallow the dim light of the room. His mouth stretched open, impossibly wide, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. A deep, gurgling noise rattled from his throat. I screamed. Darkness swallowed me whole. When I woke up, I was lying in a hospital bed. The morning sunlight streamed through the window, chasing away the horrors of the night before. A nurse was standing beside me, checking my vitals.
Good morning, Miss Carter.
She said kindly.
You gave us quite a scare. We found you unconscious inside the chapel.
The memory of that thing flashed in my mind, and I bolted upright.
The man!
I gasped.
The patient! He was there with me. Did you see him?
The nurse frowned.
What patient?
She shook her head.
The man in the hospital gown. He talked to me. He went into the chapel. I'm sorry, but no one else was found there. Are you sure you weren't dreaming?
I wanted to argue, to insist that what I saw was real, but my voice failed me. Then she smiled.
There's some good news, though. Your mother made it through surgery. She's stable now.
Relief crashed over me like a wave, and tears filled my eyes. I had almost lost her, but she was alive. Still, even as I sat beside my mother's bed later that day, holding her warm hand, I couldn't shake the memory of that thing in the chapel. To this day, I don't know if he was real or if my exhausted mind had conjured him in my grief and fear. But one thing is certain, hospitals are supposed to be places of healing. That night, I learned they can also be haunted. The story you just saw is loosely based on this video circulating on Reddit. In this video, the capturer spotted a weird man inside a hospital chapel behaving very oddly. No one knows if this video is a hoax or some authentic evidence of possession, but the man's behavior in this video is enough to give one chill. When I first moved into my new house, I thought I had finally found peace. The neighborhood was quiet, the house was modest but comfortable, and everything felt normal. My next-door neighbors were an elderly couple, Mr. and Mrs. Turner. Mr. Turner was a tall, thin man with sunken cheeks and sharp eyes. His wife, Judy, was always in a wheelchair, sitting on their porch like a statue. She never moved, never blinked. The first time I saw her, I thought she was asleep, but the longer I watched, the more unsettling it became. Her pale skin looked almost lifeless, her hands resting limply on her lap. I never saw Mr. Turner talk to her. She just sat there. One evening, as I was watering my flowers, I glanced toward their porch and froze. Judy was watching me. Her eyes were locked onto mine, wide and empty. She didn't blink, didn't move, just sat there, unblinking, watching me. A cold shiver crawled up my spine. I looked away for a second, trying to shake off the eerie feeling, but when I turned back, she was still staring. My heart pounded against my ribs. My breathing grew shallow. Something about her gaze sent an icy dread through my entire body. Then, a cold, bony hand clamped down on my shoulder. I gasped, spinning around so fast I nearly fell. Didn't mean to startle you. It was Mr. Turner. His voice sounded rough like gravel. I forced a nervous chuckle, trying to steady my breathing. It's fine. He followed my gaze toward his wife and let out a sigh. Judy's been like that for 12 years now, paralyzed. She just sits there all day, staring at nothing. I swallowed hard. 12 years? He nodded, his face tired. Doctors say there's nothing we can do, but she's harmless, just lost in her own world. I nodded, but the unease in my gut didn't go away. That night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't stop thinking about her. The way she sat so still, how her gaze never wavered. I told myself I was overreacting. Then, knock, knock, knock. I sat up, my heart leaping into my throat. The clock on my nightstand read 1:03 a.m. I held my breath, listening. Knock, knock, knock. My pulse pounded in my ears as I slipped out of bed and crept toward the window. I pushed the curtain aside and peered down at my front door, and my stomach dropped. Judy was standing there, not in her wheelchair, standing. Her frail body was hunched, her head tilted slightly to the side. The porch light cast deep shadows over her face, making her look even more unnatural. I stepped back, my breath caught in my throat. No, this isn't possible. Summoning every ounce of courage I had, I rushed downstairs and threw open the door. The porch was empty. She was gone. A heavy silence settled over the night. The only sound was my own ragged breathing. I slammed the door shut and locked it, my mind racing. The next morning, I confronted Mr. Turner. Mr. Turner? I said cautiously. Did Judy come to my house last night? His expression darkened instantly. His eyes narrowed. That's not funny, he snapped. My wife can't move. She hasn't moved a muscle in over a decade. What kind of sick joke is this? I swear I saw her, I insisted. She was standing at my door. His face twisted with anger. Don't you ever...
This come out. Hold on. 1 year ago. Yeah, 2025. Everything happened, people take out picture. Take out camera.
Say that again. I backed away, unsure of what to say. Either I was losing my mind or something was terribly wrong. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Judy's lifeless stare. Then, at around 2 a.m., laughter. A slow, raspy giggle floated through the air. I bolted upright, my skin crawling. With shaky hands, I stepped outside. Judy was standing next to my fence. Her back was facing me, her frail shoulders shaking slightly as she laughed. Her hair was damp, clinging to her face. She stood unnaturally still, like a broken doll propped up by invisible strings. Judy?
What's that mid? Once I realized, just thinking about it just came to me, just dawned on me. And the person from the last thing, she went outside, bro. She got up, right? No, not went outside. She willingly walked in the room with the man. Talking about your foot leathering. Right?
My voice trembled. Please, go back inside.
Skinny leg, no headache, no hair having a home, bro.
She didn't move. Judy? Suddenly, she twisted her head all the way around without turning her body. Her face was a nightmare. Her pale skin sagged unnaturally. Her mouth stretched into a wide, grotesque grin. Her eyes, wide, bloodshot, and soulless, locked onto mine. Her lips trembled as she let out another hoarse, choking laugh. My stomach twisted in horror. Then she lurched toward me. I stumbled backward, nearly tripping over myself as I sprinted to my house. I barely made it inside before slamming the door and locking it. I stood there, my chest rising and falling rapidly. Silence. I peeked through the peephole. She was gone, but I knew she wasn't really gone. I stayed up the rest of the night, every sound making my skin crawl. For the next few days, I avoided looking at the Turner's house, but I could feel her, watching. Then, one night, I woke to a different sound, scraping. A slow, dragging sound, like something being pulled across concrete. I sat up, heart pounding. The noise was coming from outside. With my breath held, I crept to the window. Judy was standing in my yard. Her wheelchair sat a few feet behind her, tipped over on its side. My stomach lurched. How did she get here? Then, in the dim moonlight, I saw her fingers. Her nails were digging into the pavement, dragging her frail body forward inch by inch. Her arms trembled as she pulled herself closer to my house. I stumbled back, my heart racing. This can't be real. I rushed downstairs and pressed my ear against the front door. Silence. For a moment, I thought maybe, just maybe, it was all in my head. Then, tap, tap, tap. I jumped back as a single bony finger tapped against the wood. I covered my mouth to keep from screaming. I waited and waited. Eventually, the tapping stopped. When I dared to look through the peephole, she was gone. But I knew it wasn't over. Every 2 or 3 nights, I'd wake up to find Judy outside my house. She never moves, never speaks, just stands there and watches. I can't keep living like this. I need to leave before it's too late. A man living in a quiet neighborhood started seeing a creepy woman loitering around his house at night. One night, he spotted her near his fence and went to confront her, but the woman didn't say a thing or move an inch. The video you're about to see is the inspiration for the above story. Let us know in the comments what you think about this creepy video.
Every flipping night. Move. Every next one goes I know I'll move.
Jamaica, I don't Jamaican this.
Like she's sick in her head.
You got something like this. Yo. Mm-hmm.
Me not touch her, no. Hey.
Jamaican, bro.
When my grandmother passed away, I inherited a few of her belongings. Some old books, a couple of photo albums, and one item that made my skin crawl the moment I laid eyes on it. A jester clown doll. It sat in a small wooden box, wrapped in a faded red cloth. Its porcelain face was frozen in a wide, eerie grin, its painted blue eyes gleaming under the dim light. The doll wore a tattered red and gold outfit, and its jester hat had 2 long drooping points with tiny bells at the end. I had no idea why Grandma kept such a thing. I don't remember ever seeing it at her house before. Maybe it was an old childhood toy, or maybe she had picked it up from some antique shop. Either way, I didn't like it. But I couldn't just throw it away. It had belonged to her. So I brought it home. That night, I had the first dream. I was in my bedroom, lying on my bed, but something felt off. The air was heavy, suffocating. My body was frozen. I couldn't move, couldn't even turn my head. Then I heard it, a soft jingle, like tiny bells swaying with movement. The sound came from the foot of my bed. I tried to breathe, tried to scream, but my body refused to obey.
Man. Let me get up and start rolling. Jesus.
Then, slowly, a figure emerged from the darkness. The jester doll, but it wasn't small anymore. It was life-sized. It stood at the edge of my bed, its painted grin stretching wider, its blue eyes glistening with something alive.
I like watching you sleep.
It whispered in a voice that was both playful and
Why? Man, I'm gonna like that. And you know how the man put him bed and talk about you like watch him sleep? You are fish.
chilling. I wanted to run, to wake up.
That not play father. That never in a script. Take it out.
Anything to escape.
You read that script there. Take it out.
But then it lunged. I gasped awake, my heart hammering in my chest. My bed sheets were drenched in sweat. Just a nightmare, I told myself. Just a dream. Then my eyes darted to the chair in the corner of my room. The jester doll was sitting there. I swore I had left it on the shelf. The next night, it happened again. I was dreaming, but everything felt too real. I was lying in bed, the room eerily silent. I turned my head towards the chair in the corner. The jester doll was gone. A chill ran down my spine. Then, jingle.
What the fuck's real?
The sound of bells coming from under my bed. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Slowly, a hand crept over the edge of the mattress. Porcelain fingers with tiny cracks along them. The jester's grinning face peeked up from the shadows, its blue eyes locked onto mine. Then, it spoke.
Why did you take me?
I bolted awake, my body shaking. I turned my head toward the chair. The doll was gone.
Intermission, bro. Fun fact about me. When I was 11 or 12, it was like 3 o'clock in the night. It was first time watching the Conjuring movie with Annabelle, the one with the sheets when she walked around in the sheets. Yeah, that one. Bro, I was so terrified, bro. I slept under the blanket that night, bro. Like dead ass. I wasn't even watching it with my uncle. Like, the first time I ever felt true fear, bro. Like, these movies can't really get you, bro.
My stomach twisted as I scanned the room, and then I saw it. The jester doll was sitting on my nightstand, facing me. Over the next few days, strange things kept happening. I would leave the doll in one place only to find it somewhere else hours later. Once, I put it in the hallway cabinet and went to take a shower. When I came back, it was sitting on the couch. I tried to convince myself I was just being forgetful. Maybe I had moved it and didn't remember, but deep down, I knew that wasn't true. Then, one night, I heard it. A sound that made my blood run cold. Laughter. Soft, high-pitched giggles echoing through my room. I shot up in bed, heart pounding. I reached for my phone to turn on the flashlight. The laughter stopped. I swallowed hard and leaned over the edge of the bed, shining the light underneath. The jester doll was there. Its wide, painted grin seemed bigger. I slammed the light off and backed away, my entire body shaking. I had to get rid of it. I grabbed the doll and rushed downstairs. I yanked open the basement door, my hands trembling as I stepped inside the cold, musty air. I found an old wooden chest in the corner, threw the doll inside, and locked it. Then I ran back upstairs and slammed the basement door shut. I breathed in relief. It was over, or so I thought. That night, I woke up to a sound. Thud, thud, thud. Heavy footsteps pacing outside my bedroom door. I held my breath, gripping the covers tight. The doll was lying in my doorway, face up, staring at me. I couldn't stay in the house another night. I grabbed the doll, wrapped it in an old red cloth, and drove straight to my grandmother's grave. The cemetery was eerily silent, the cold wind whispering through the trees. I stood in front of her headstone, clutching the doll in my shaking hands. I don't know why you had this thing. Then, I woke up. I saw it. I shot up in bed, heart pounding. I reached for my phone to turn on the flashlight. The laughter stopped. I swallowed hard and leaned over the edge of the bed, shining the light underneath. The jester doll was there. Its wide, painted grin seemed bigger. I slammed the light off and backed away, my entire body shaking. I had to get rid of it. I grabbed the doll and rushed downstairs. I yanked open the basement door, my hands trembling as I stepped inside the cold, musty air. I found an old wooden chest in the corner, threw the doll inside, and locked it. Then I ran back upstairs and slammed the basement
Shout out, I am on Scary Tales, bro.
door shut. I breathed in relief. It was over, or so I thought. That night,
bro. Why am I running up the stairs at these, bro? Hold on. Nigga there, like. Hold on. Nigga there on the stairs like these, bro. That nigga, bro, like. Come on, bro. Who runs like that G? Hold on, bro.
Then I ran back upstairs and slammed the basement door shut. I breathed in relief. It was over, or so I thought. That night I woke up to a sound. Thud, thud, thud. Heavy footsteps pacing outside my bedroom door. I held my breath, gripping the covers tight. Then came another sound, a childlike sobbing, quiet but filled with pain. A voice whispered, "Let me out." I didn't sleep that night. The following night, I had the worst dream yet.
Double chin of death.
I was in my bed, unable to move. A crushing weight pressed down on my chest. I tried to scream, but no sound came out.
My man by himself.
Then I saw it, the jester doll sitting on my chest.
Why? You thought that a script? No, them Batman fishes in your can now work. Take it out of the script. Blood of Jesus getting some homophobia, bro. Why?
Its porcelain hands gripped my throat, squeezing tighter and tighter. "You can't get rid of me," it whispered. "I belong to you now." My vision blurred, my lungs burned. Then, I woke up with a violent gasp. I was drenched in sweat, my throat sore as if something really had been choking me. And then I saw it. The jester doll was lying in my doorway, face up, staring at me. I couldn't stay in the house another night. I grabbed the doll, wrapped it in an old red cloth, and drove straight to my grandmother's grave. The cemetery was eerily silent, the cold wind whispering through the trees. I stood in front of her headstone, clutching the doll in my shaking hands. "I don't know why you had this thing," I muttered, "but I don't want it." I placed the doll at the foot of her grave, stepping back quickly. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, as I turned to leave, I heard something that made my skin crawl. A faint jingle.
I always thought that that's the way I really do.
I didn't look back. I ran to my car, started the engine, and sped away. I never saw the jester doll again, but sometimes, in the dead of night, I swear I can still hear it, that soft, eerie sound of bells, waiting. The story is loosely based on this video of a clown doll that this man inherited from his grandmother. Soon, the doll started moving around the house on its own, spooking the man just enough to record it and share it on the internet. What do you think of this video? Let us know in the comments.
That girlfriend I'm pretty but I use this for that. Now me like say no same friend him not do this bro. Yo, this thing got the worst chemical in the world, oh my gosh. They record this a peer phone too. A peer too. From my car. Come on bro. But even think a Samsung J2 prime this ass bro. Come on bro. Cap. But that is it for this revival Saturday. Hopefully you enjoy it, subscribe, like, and let me know if you want more of this. And do something fun Sunday too. Let me know though.
Don't slow down when the vibe like this. Body moving, I don't wanna miss. Feel the rhythm in my chest, in my hips. When it hit like this, I can't resist.